Okay, I get it. I think I know how you're feeling. Your home feels too small, a little tired, maybe even overwhelming. You've spent years making it work, but now you're wondering, should I move on or making it feel like home again? Maybe you've set aside some savings, or maybe retirement is just around the corner. But before you make any big decisions, pause for a moment. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to help you figure out what truly works for you and show you how a few small changes could help you fall back in love with your space. Hello, I'm Lorenzo, your Italian architect based in London, and I help people turn small, frustrating spaces into homes they actually love. I've worked and studied across Europe, the US, and the United Kingdom, of course, from embedding ancient Romance design principles to designing new cutting-edge homes. And today, I'm giving you my best advice on one of the biggest questions you'll ever face about your home. Move or improve? Ready? Let's go! Let's be honest, moving is not just about logistics. It's an emotional endeavor. Memories live in your walls. Your favorite corner by the window, the kitchen where you taught your grandkids how to bake cookies. These aren't just spaces, they're stories. And those stories matter. So before you put that for sale sign up, ask yourself, is the house truly the problem? Or is it simply no longer working the way you live today? Because here's what I found over and over again. Most of my clients don't actually want a new house. They want their current home to feel fresh and functional and full of life again. The good news is that this is often much more possible than what you might think. Here's how I usually help my clients to decide whether to move or improve their space. I look at 4 things: space, light, storage, and layout. If your home has potential in at least 2 of these areas, then improving might not only be easier, but it could save you thousands of dollars or pounds, depending on where you live. Okay, let me give you a real-life example. I recently worked on the refurbishment of a townhouse in central London. The owner loved it, but she felt the space was no longer what she wanted. The kitchen was cramped, the layout was a bit awkward, and light could barely pass through the hallway. Now, being the house in a conservation area, I couldn't just knock down walls and change whatever I wanted. Well, let's say I had to be clever, so instead of adding square footage, I had to make the most out of the space that I had, reimagining what was already there. We opened up the layout, introduced smarter built-in storage, maximized vertical space, and strategically improved lighting to completely change how the home felt, without changing the home's footprint. Same house, same walls, brand new life. So when you're frustrated with your home, the question isn't always, what can I get if I move out? It's also, what haven't I unlocked yet in the space I already have? And by the way, if you'd like to see this transformation, I left a link in the video description below. Check it out. It's a great video. If you're thinking, yeah, okay, all good, nice talk, but you know what? My space is so tiny, I can barely do anything with it. If that's you, don't worry, I've got you covered. Now, let me show you what's really possible, even in the smallest of spaces. Because, I hear it all the time, my space is too small to feel like home, but that's rarely true. What's usually missing is not just space, it's a strategy. Now, for the sake of this argument, let's imagine you own a 200 square feet studio apartment in New York City or London. Maybe it's a bit too dark or overwhelmed by clutter. No storage, just one multi-purpose room that doesn't really work for anything. Sounds familiar? It's not hard to see why someone might want to move out, actually. But instead of jumping ship, why wouldn't you reimagine the space you already have? With layered lighting, even a tiny room feels open and calm. With clever vertical storage, you get your floor space back without adding any square footage. With multifunctional furniture, every item works harder, so you don't have to. And with the right mix of color and texture, your home starts to feel like you again. The cost, you might ask? Well, that's usually less than the price of a moving van or the solicitor fees. But the payoff? You stay in the place you know, the neighborhood you love, and you might fall in love with your space again. Let's be honest, sometimes you just feel ready for a new chapter of your life. A new rhythm, a home that finally fits the life you're living now, or the one that you want to live. This video isn't about convincing you to stay where you are if your heart is already somewhere else. Maybe the stairs feel steeper than they used to. Maybe your kids have moved out and the house echoes in a different way. Maybe you're retiring and dreaming of light, warmth, and a garden that you'll actually enjoy. Or maybe you're thinking to move to Italy, who knows? If that's where you are, good. Let's make that decision with clarity, not guilt. Because moving isn't a failure, it's an act of intention. It's not about giving up. It's about choosing how you want to live next. So do me a favor, ask yourself these 3 questions before you contact your real estate agent. If it's too big, too cold, or simply exhausting to maintain, that's not just inconvenient, it's unsustainable. Does the location still serve you and your needs? If your friends or family now live elsewhere, ask yourself what you're holding on to. And why? Is it really about space or is it about peace of mind? Because sometimes what you need is not a bigger kitchen, it's a simpler life. Before you jump into online listings and weekend viewings, take a moment to get clear on what really matters to you. Not just square meters, think light, quiet, comfort, walkability, community, ease. Because the right home isn't just 4 walls, it's a feeling. And if you're going to start over, let's make it somewhere that makes you truly feel at home again. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it inspired you to make the big decision. So, move or improve? The answer isn't one size fits all. But now I hope you have the tools to make that decision comfortably over time. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you need a little help from registered architects who helped already people make the most out of the tiny spaces, I offer remote consultation and full architectural services. So I'll leave you all the details in the video description below. And if you liked the video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. I post every Sunday at 5 p.m. I'll see you next week. Ciao.